When you think of the music industry, I bet the first things that come to mind are artists, record labels, and streaming. But what if I told you that those only represented a fraction of the entire industry? While the recorded music sector is by far the most known and publicized, it's only one of three, alongside music publishing and live music. Before a song can be recorded by an artist, it has to be written by a songwriter. This falls under music publishing, the sector of the music industry that looks after and exploits a song's lyrics and melody. Together, they're called the composition. Once a song is written, it can then be recorded or performed live by a performing artist, which brings us to the third and final sector of the music industry, live music. Think about it this way. Any way you can possibly imagine consuming music will either fall into one or more of these three sectors. When you stream a song on Spotify, it was first written, then recorded and released before you're able to press that play button. This concerns both the music publishing and recorded music sectors. Before you can enjoy listening to your favorite music at a concert, first the songs have to be written, and in some cases, like a DJ said, they would have to be pre-recorded, meaning that potentially all three sectors of the music industry would work together to make the experience possible. These three sectors operate independently, but, as mentioned, are very much dependent on one another. Another example of this is that someone can exclusively be a songwriter, or a recording artist, or a performing artist, but oftentimes they are all three at once. This is what we call a self-contained artist. Now, let's look at the mechanics of each of these sectors in more detail. When it comes to music publishing, it all starts with the songwriter, who then signs to a music publisher, or if they choose the DIY route, an administrator, like Songtrust or Centric. But for the sake of this example, let's say they sign to one of the three major publishers, Warner Chappell. The music publisher's job is to service the songwriter and their compositions. They can pitch, manage, administer, promote, and otherwise protect the music compositions. All of these activities are aimed at working the copyrights and generating royalty and licensing income, which are then collected and redistributed with the help of performing rights organizations such as ASCAP and BMI in the US, PRS in the UK, and SOCAN in Canada, as well as mechanical rights organizations like the MLC in the US, MCPS in the UK, and CIMRA in Canada. These entities usually redistribute a portion of the royalties directly to the songwriter, and another portion flows through their publisher. With recorded music, everything begins with the artist, who then signs to a record label, or if they choose the DIY route, can self-release through a digital distributor like TuneCore, CD Baby, or DistroKid. For the sake of this example, let's say they sign to one of the three major labels, Universal Music. The record label's job is to service the artists and their recordings. They can manage the production, marketing, promotion, manufacturing, and distribution of new music releases and music videos for their signed artists. Once the music is released through digital service providers, or DSPs, such as Spotify, Apple Music, or Tidal, the recordings can generate royalties and licensing revenue, which is then collected and redistributed by the labels themselves and with the help of collective management organizations, or CMOs. Some examples are Sound Exchange in the US, PPL in the UK, and Resound in Canada. These entities usually redistribute a portion of the royalties directly to the recording artist, and another portion flows through their label. DSPs also pay out streaming royalties through the artist record label, and if the artist is unsigned, all of the above royalties flow directly to them, if they're properly set up. In the live sector, performing artists can hire a booking agent. The agent's job is to seek out and book attractive performance opportunities for the artist. They can do so through a promoter. Some well-known examples are Live Nation and AEG, but for smaller venues or tours, they can also be individuals. And their job is to secure both the venue and the talent, putting together, pricing, and promoting the event, and even helping to secure sponsorships. Alternatively, agents and DIY performing artists can go directly to the venue's in-house talent buyer to secure a gig. A ticketing company is also usually involved in handling the sale and delivery of tickets to fans. Any money earned from ticket sales, sponsorships, or any other arrangement with the music venue, such as getting a portion of bar sales, flows back to the artist once the promoter and booking agent are paid their commission. You now know the three main sectors of the music industry and the basics of how they operate. The reality is that every step of the process involves a host of different specialists who are there to ensure that everything runs smoothly. For example, when we talk about artists, you have to keep in mind that they can often have an entire team behind them, including a personal manager, a publicist, an accountant, a lawyer, and so on. Similarly, a music publisher or record label can be composed of dozens of departments responsible for anything from talent scouting to analytics to marketing or even merchandising. If you're interested in the journey of a song from beginning to end, stay tuned for our next video. If you'd like to know more about how each entity within the context of the music industry interacts with one another, check out the blog post linked in the description below. Thanks for watching.